This is what you want. This is what you want. This is the film review. No spoilers. You will not hear any spoilers in this review. Now, Thor started off back in the day. He was the serious guy who came there. He was all about war, war, war. It had a bit of heart, a lot more heart, and it was a lot more drawn out. Thor the Dark World is where it started to go down. He was too serious, script was very bland, and the actors seemed like they were phoning it in. Kind of looked like the other movies, but Thor Ragnarok turned it around. Well, Taiki Waititi made it light, made it funny, made it entertaining. Now, in this new Thor, Thor Love and Thunder, we've seen Thor of Odin comes back, and boy, oh boy, do we got a lot to talk about here. This looks more like a Star Wars poster than than an actual movie. There were a lot of good things that worked in this film and a lot of things that didn't. I thought the tone and direction were different. It was just like too much going on here for what they wanted to accomplish, unlike Ragnarok. Ragnarok was pretty much one direction written out. This was the direction we're going in, this is the goal. Here, there's too many moving parts. A lot of people are not going to like a lot of the comedy. That's pretty much early on. But to be honest, to be 100% honest, people, this isn't a real funny movie. Like as far as like the comedy, I thought it was gonna be a lot more. There's actually some very serious moments, some very dramatic moments in the film that I didn't think I would see. But the weight of it, it doesn't quite hit because the tone is off. It's like the mood switched and you're supposed to really feel the gravity of it, but you don't really feel the gravity of it. There's one joke they got running with Stormbreaker and Mjolnir. They basically fighting for the affection of Thor. That joke was a run on for so long, and it shouldn't have went as long as it did. Um, this was surprising. Natalie Portman's portrayal of, as the female Thor, she really bought into this role. Like she really was 10 toes down. She did a great job. And I didn't expect a lot out of her in this role, but I thought she was exceptional in her role and what she did. Uh, Chris Hemsworth as Thor, I think he did what they asked him to do and what he really wanted to do. And it was all over the place. Gore the God Butcher was great. But let me tell you this. He wasn't in the movie that much. I don't know if that's a spoiler, it shouldn't be, but he ain't in the movie that much. I wanted more of Gore. In the scenes he's in, he owns it. But you want to see more. No, he's not in the film as much as you think. And to me, that is where the movie's like they really dropped the ball on that. But I think I know what they wanted to do is to try to build it up as much as possible and not to have him in that many scenes in the film. Kind of, you're hearing about Gore and all the things he's done, and visually, like, I'm gonna tell you, this is probably one of the most spectacular visual films you have seen. I still give it 2.5 out of 4 stars, but it's better than Thor: Dark World. The original Thor, is it better than that one? I could say that because I felt like they actually had a real villain to fight in this one, unlike any of the other ones. So I would put it, but it's Thor Ragnarok is better than this film. Clearly better. 2.5 stars out of 4. I think it fell short. It fell short, and it fell short because there's so many directions. There's so many arcs that they're trying to tell, and that's why I think Taiki or Taikiti or whatever, Wayne Wakiti messed up, or he got lost because he's trying to go down a lot of different lanes at once with this film. This is not the love story it should have been. It's not. I think they should have focused more on that than the comedy. The jokes should have been a little bit subtle and, not as drawn out as they were. The ending, I'm not too happy with. I'm not too happy with the ending of this film. Some people will like it. I don't know who that would be, but there's some people that might like this ending. I did not like this ending. What's his name? Taikiti? Yo, Wayne, I can never get his name right. Watiki. I can get his last name right. Watiki. So Watiki, what he does, and what he does very well, is the fact that if you have a story from beginning to end and it's one direction, it's not a lot of moving parts that he has to deal with. See, when he's dealing with the Thor Love and Thunder, this is a popular comic. This is one of Thor's best comics in the world. Like, this is like top notch Thor. This is the best it's gotten for him in the comic world, was the Love and Thunder series. So they're blending in a lot in one movie. So now you have the two Thors, the female Thor, this plot line with Jane getting manure and Mjolnir, and Thor with Thor's Stormbreaker. You got Valkyrie in here. You have Zeus and the gods. You got Korn in here. Hey man. So you got a lot of different moving parts, and it should have been all about just Gore the God Butcher. But there's so many other parts that's moving into this movie that this should have been the main energy of the film, and the love is missing. But then you got the Guardians of the Galaxy that's a part of this. You have so many moving parts that it's like you're going to not be able to hold it all together. And that's why I don't think it blended well. It made the characters look bland, a lot of them. So it was a bunch of strong performances, but it was empty. Like, I wouldn't say Chris Hemsworth did a bad job, but to me, they made Thor look like a goofy. It's kind of like the trailers. How very silly he looks in the trailers. It's kind of that's how they make him for the entire movie. Like, it's so not like he was even in Ragnarok. He wasn't this goofy. Like, he wasn't a goof troop like they got him in here. It's kind of like how they had him in Endgame, Avengers Endgame. How he was acting when he was all big and out of shape and all that. and he was just lazy and acting all dumb. And now that he's back in shape, I thought they were like, okay, Thor's back to being Thor now. So he's shaking that off. You know, he was going through a depressional time at that point, and he was mostly just drunk all the time. So it made sense for Endgame. Now they got him just like the fumbling idiot now, and it's just like this is not Thor. You know, and I'm just like, this is, I understand to make it light, but this is not Thor. So yeah, it's entertaining to watch. It's real pretty to watch. Believe me, it's a pretty movie to see visually. But they missed a lot of arcs and a lot of ways to make this film what it should have been. They really missed the mark. Oh, I could do the Minions review. We went and saw the Minions. I should have let Troy do that one. Well, you know, it's when you add so much comedy to the scenario, you add so much humor, and it's fun and entertaining for those who love Ragnarok. It's a great ride, but as far as a movie, I think it loses its purpose. And I think we've wasted too many performances. Some of the jokes just weren't funny. Well, see, here's the thing. This is why the embargo took so long. If this movie was like ravely reviewed, they would have lifted embargo a long time ago. People saw this movie weeks ago, damn near a month, and can't even talk about it. It's not even his style of directing. It's that you probably had way too many cooks in the kitchen. You have to put the Guardians of the Galaxy in there to probably push them towards what they're doing. Then you got Thor and his story. Then you got Jane in this story, which she doesn't really fit that well. So you got a lot of action scenes. You got a lot of scenes that look pretty and it looks glorious, but it doesn't mix well for what this story was about. Yep, 2.5 out of 4. That means it's watchable. You'll like it. It's visually stunning, but you know, it's not better than Ragnarok, clearly. That's why the embargo was lifted like yesterday. The embargo was lifted like yesterday, like late last night. They're like, oh no, you could talk about the movie now. It's like, oh, we can? Thank you. Then you could tell those people who've been paid to do the movie reviews and voice their opinions because it's like god awful. Their reviews are so bad. I hope they paid you well. They see some of the dumbest shit you've ever heard in your life. This movie is still good. It's fun. I'm like, if you're not going to do your job, just say, hey, I don't feel like doing my job. That's all you got to say. I get it. I haven't watched the new episode that just came out today. I haven't watched that yet. I think we're on episode 5. I mean, it's okay if you're a 16-year-old girl, but here's the thing. Miss Marvel was never that kind of character. Like, mostly men actually followed and played with Miss Marvel in the game. So they're like, I played with Miss Marvel on the video game. And this is not like the video game Miss Marvel. Yeah, this was 16-year-old girls. They're trying to get those like 10, 12-year-old girls and Indians and people in India watching this, Miss Marvel. Not since the first episode was there a post-credit scene. But I haven't watched the 5th one yet. It's still going on. But this is mostly like my little sister, her room is like Miss Marvel's. But I've dated a lot of Indian women, so I know how they are, like the parents. And it's funny because they're like that. A lot of them, it's like really dramatic, overly dramatic for like the littlest things. Yeah, and well, the thing is, the parents normally would freak out. Like they would go insane. Like if there was a situation where like she went to the store, anything, it was dramatic. Let me talk to you. What kind of daughter do I have that just goes outside? Does not say one word. She said nothing to me. Dated black women, Hindu, Indian. If you fine, you're fine. I'ma hit it. If you fine, you getting hit. I'd be like, ooh, you can get a shot at the title tonight. Let's go. The belt's on the line. Boom, title match. Ooh, you got a friend. Tag team. Shoot, it's a suicide match. 2-on-1. Why would they spam a Thor Love and Thunder movie review? A lot of stuff is dumb nowadays. Straight up. Yes, yes, sir. All these couples, man, they love walking, boy. I swear. You see these couples going walks, walks, and walks. Couples walk. Will they make another Thor? I don't know. I think if you see Thor, he might be in another movie, supporting the movie. But after this, do you want to see another Thor? The people will be the judge of it. But you know who's gonna love it? Sean gonna love this movie. This is a Sean movie. The boxing socialist Sean, they made this movie for him. 100% for Sean. Sean, this is your movie. They made this just for you and only for you. Straight up. So I'm out and about. I know. The temperature dropped. It's like 73 degrees outside. It's extremely crazy. Straight up. Man, I don't know what's wrong with people nowadays. They all kind of messed up. We'll do a spoiler review after the weekend, because I know a lot of people I want to really say some things. Christian Bale delivered. I had no problems with him. I would just like to see a lot more of him. You know? That's all. But other than that, no, it's not better than Thor Ragnarok. Not close. That's not even close. This missed the mark in a lot of places, buddy. But I'll let you guys figure that out when y'all see it. Y'all will see everything I'm saying right now. The one thing that pissed me off the most was the Mjolnir fighting with Stormbreaker. Like they both, like this love triangle thing with Thor. That pissed me off. That should have been something subtle, and they made that a run-on joke, and it just was going. I didn't like it. Did not like it. So, anyway, I'm out. Take care.